This is my synthetic head. All synthetic. She doesn't take any curl or any heat, so it's good for practicing braids. Because if you can make her look good, you can make anyone look good. So I'm putting together a video on braiding, pancaking pretty much. Just going to do a very creative look with the outcome of experimenting and texture in mind. So my sectioning system, section 1 is the front, 2 and 3 are the sides, 4 is the crown, and 5 is the back. So I'm going to stick to my sections and we're going to do something creative. You want to set yourself up for a clean practicing session. When you practice, you can get frustrated, and so it's important that you set your mind to impending frustration and you set your workspace. So right now I know as I braid, all this other hair is going to tangle, and I want to minimize frustration. I'm going to start with a Dutch braid in this direction, and then what I'll be doing is pancaking the top half but leaving the bottom half tight. Depending on where the finished look is going to sit on the head, if the finished look was low, then I would braid to here. If the finished look was high, then I would braid up. So always thinking about where I'm going, and I'm going to want to create kind of a look that's kind of waterfalling off the back. And that's all the information you need, is to have an idea. If you're constantly trying to perfect a photo, you are in a resistance place. You are not in an open, creative place. So the way I teach is always wanting you to be in an open, creative place. Everyone has a way of doing their own braids. I like to slice with my pinkies. If you've never braided or you want to change the way you braid, then you can copy someone. But other than that, it's just really a good idea to perfect the way that you like to braid. Keeping the knuckles right tight to the head is going to help my braid stay on the scalp. When you work with a real person, you do have to get them into some awkward positions, and it's really important that you are able to direct the client. If you're not able to direct the client in the position you truly need for a look, it's not going to come out the way you want it. And sometimes, you know, they feel or look uncomfortable, and you need to acknowledge that. You need to kind of make a joke out of it. I'll get you there as quick as I can. This is going to look awesome. You're going to love it. and maybe get them chatting about something to get their mind off, and then give them a break. Give them a little break between your braids. Just so I stay in the picture frame for you. And for now, I'm going to leave this tight. I'll be adding texture to it, moving my elastic, pinching and pulling, and adding texture to it later. So, section 1, section 2, and I always consider section 3 the other side. Here you can see that part of, typically section 3 is, you know, the front is 1, but I stole some 3 to go into 1, and I'm going to put 3 into 5, so 5 is the bottom. So I'm going to section out section 4. Section 4 is the crown. And I'm going to do a 2-strand braid in section 3 and in section 5. I'm going to start with a 3-strand braid and work into a 2-strand. And for many clients, this little bit of hair right here is, they might not have much at all. So your braids in reality might be a lot smaller because of the density of the hair. So I'm going over. The other side was a Dutch. This side is over. I pick up on the edges. I'm trying to get the braid to sit center. Keeping my knuckles close to the head for control. Trying to keep this running here in the center. I slice in, I turn, and I hook. And at some point, I'm going to decide where I'm going to switch into a 2-strand. What I want is tightness here, but then some softness in the back. So I just kind of need to decide where the softness is going to begin. I think this is going to be a good spot. So what I'll do is I'll combine these two and then I'll start picking up. So I'm picking up, I'm combining these into one, and now I'm going to work on my 2-strand braid. And a 2-strand is simply twisting and adding. I'm going to be adding to the bottom. So I just twisted, and now I'm going to pick up and add to the bottom. So it's twisting, and picking up and adding to the bottom. I'm just gaining control. I'm going to grab that bottom. The rest of the braid is in my pinky. I'm going to twist. And I know I've practiced braids I've never done online, and it takes a lot of work, so give yourself some time. And for this one, I'm not picking up here on the top. I'm only picking up on the bottom. I'm going all the way up into that section, adding it to the bottom. Twisting. Adding it to the bottom. You're going to want to do this on a real head too, especially if it's long hair. It's always going to tangle. It'd be good to have an assistant if you could. Keeping tight for the look that I want. Twisting. Picking up, adding it to the bottom. Twisting. A little wider up here than here, so I'm not going to slice from the bottom on this one. I'm going to just try to take up some of that width. Adding that to the bottom. Twisting. Adding to the bottom. Twisting. Now I'm going to work into a fishtail. I slice from behind. I take my thumbs and I crisscross over and grab. I slice from behind, take my thumbs, crisscross over, and grab. Don't worry about things that seem to be popping. You're sticking with the process, and you're gonna follow it out to the end, because really I have an idea what I want to do with this look. I definitely know where I want to go, and because it's experimenting, I'm learning. And I'm not going to get frustrated and quit. The way you become a better artist is really about setting your mind. Now this sometimes happens in a fishtail, where you have a second on one side and then the other. So I take the back and I just kind of send it over. Right? So I just took the back and sent it over, and now we're pretty even. So I keep on going. I'm going to want to pancake that, but I'm going to be doing it later. I'm going to do another fishtail braid here, and I'm going to pancake this one as I work. Adding a little bit to each side. So I got a little bit added to each side. Here's my fishtail, and make sure I grab some of the original. Grab some of the side. Grab some of the side. See, I'm getting away from the head shape now, coming out. And now I'm going to pancake on the head. I'm going to feel the hair moving out of my hands here, and then at some point I will continue braiding. So it's kind of like a fishtail French because it's attached. And I'm able to play with it and see what I want to build. And you're not going to get super creative until you experiment. I'm going to pancake again. Just get it started so you can feel what's coming out from the bottom. Just be curious. Just be curious. Don't have an agenda. If you want it to be like have that seam, you can pull on it, tighten up that area. Really going, I know, for a textured look. I want a really highly textured hairstyle. And this is what you just kind of have to go back and forth, because when I pull that, it pulls in over here, which is okay. It didn't make a mistake. Because I want to see highly textured edges, and I want to see that seam.